This might be the first video that I regret making because I'm about to share with you the landing location and even loot path that gave me 5 wins in one day. That's a pretty big deal for me because I had less than 50 wins at the start of that day. I almost don't want to share it, but you guys know me. I just love sharing secrets. I can't help it. I shared dozens of hidden chests locations, so it's about time I share the best landing location and loot path ever to get easy wins. Just to prove to you guys that I'm not making this up, I tweeted the 5 wins with screenshots using the Love Ranger skin right before Valentine's Day at 9:55 PM, which is about 14 hours after the Fortnite Twitter tweeted that the Love Ranger outfit is out, which I use in all of those games. So you know it all happened in one day. I'll also show quick montages of those games at the end of the video. So let's get started. The best landing location for easy wins is Containers. It's the place between Retail Row and Wailing Woods. It's an unnamed location, but I call it Containers because, well, there's a lot of containers. But feel free to call it whatever you want. I'm just gonna use Containers for this video. There are 4 big reasons why Containers is the best place to land that I don't think a lot of people know about. One of the biggest reasons is that it has a lot of chests in a small area, and most people don't even know where half of these chests are, unless you landed here a good amount of times. Chances are you probably think it has like 3 or 4 chests only, not because you're stupid, but because a lot of them are hard to find. When I first started, I landed here like 3 times in a row and only found 3 to 4 chests, and then I stopped going here. But turns out it has 8 chests, which is just as much as some of the other smaller named locations like Junk Junction, Shifty Shafts, Tomato Town, Dusty Depot, Wailing Woods, and Moisty Mire. All of those places have 3 to 9 chests. And after you finish looting Containers, there's 3 chests south of Containers that most people don't loot. I've been able to get them almost every time I land at Containers. So you can get up to 11 chests, which will always give you AR, shotgun, and full shields most of the time. So you can easily win fights to get the win. If you don't know where these chests are, then rewatch this section because I've been showing them in the gameplay. The only thing better than having a lot of loot at your landing location is not having to share it with anyone. Barely anyone lands at Containers. Usually I'll find 1 or 2 people that land here at most. A lot of times I'll be the only one looting all 8 chests plus the 3 other chests. And even if 1 or 2 other people land here, the place is small enough where you can find them very quickly and just kill them fast before they get to loot. The key here is that I don't let them loot more than 1 chest before killing them. If you've been on any kind of Battle Royale forum like Reddit or even YouTube comments, chances are you've heard this quote a handful of times. Why loot when you can have everyone else loot for you? What they mean is that instead of looting a bunch of chests at the start of the game, you can pick up a gun, then kill other people to get their loot instead of doing the work yourself. This may work in other Battle Royale games, but not in Fortnite because of one simple reason. Shields. Fortnite is one of, if not the only Battle Royale game that has shields giving players over 100 health. Please tell me if any other Battle Royale game does this. I'm actually just curious cause I've only played H1Z1 before Fortnite and that game had no shields. So we're gonna have to do some quick maths here. I know, I'm sorry. Greasy Grove can spawn up to 11 chests. You land there with 3 to 5 other people, which is usually what happens. Maybe you kill a guy because you landed in the most popular building that has 3 chests, then 3 other people land in the other buildings and loot 2 to 3 chests of their own. So by the time you finish looting your building, there's only really a couple of chests to loot after, if any at all. So your best option of getting more loot is to go for kills. The other players might have found minis and a full shield potion. They use it all except 1 mini because you get 3 at first and you can't use all of them. Then you kill a guy and take his 1 mini shield, which you might have to use if he shot at you. Then you get into another fight and same thing happens. You see where I'm going with this. When you let other people loot chests, then chances are you're probably not going to get most of the shields that they looted because they're gonna use them. So if you manage to be one of the last ones standing in Greasy Grove, you might get up to 11 chests worth of weapons, since those don't disappear, but probably only around 1 to 3 chests worth of shields because you gotta use them and other players use them as well, especially because so many people are fighting each other. Now we go to Containers. You land in the general area, you pick up a weapon. If anyone lands there, you just kill them real quick because there's no houses, it's mostly just an open area with a lot of containers, and maybe they looted 1 chest, but after you kill them, you still get to loot the other 5 to 7 chests in the area. and you only have to win 1, sometimes 2 fights at most, for all of that loot. Not to mention the 3 bonus chests south of containers that no one usually loots. After finishing the loot path, almost every game you'll have an AR, a shotgun, full shields, and extra shields in your inventory, plus sniper or rocket launcher a good amount of times. Which is actually so important. Being able to loot all those chests by yourself means you get to start the game with great weapons and extra shields while taking minimal risk. I know I went on for a long time about this reason, but it's the biggest reason why containers is the best. Now let's talk about the third reason, which is these wooden pallets. Like I said in the 5 things I wish I knew video, wood is super underrated by newer players. Building wood in fights is way better than bricks or metals. If you ever watch a pro player's game, and all they use in fights is wood unless they run out. Just look up Daequan versus Ninja if you haven't seen it already. They went through hundreds of wood during the fight, and the thing that gives the most wood is those really thick bright trees in Moisty Mire, around Loot Lake and near the farms. But the next in line is these wooden pallets. There's 8 of them in containers. These 8 wooden pallets alone can give you anywhere from 300 to 500 pieces of wood. And if you're able to hit 2 out of 3 of the blue circles that pop up, which you should be able to with practice, then you'll be able to break 3 pallets grouped together in under 10 seconds for over 100 pieces of wood. Literally no other place can do this, not even Moisty Mire. Moisty Mire has big trees that can give around 100 pieces of wood, but they're all spread out in between water that slows you down, so it takes a longer time, which sucks because Moisty is in a corner of the map, and if you take too long, then the storm can end up screwing you over. And if you're really into building, all you TSM myth fans out there, you can farm the small trees to the south of containers, part of the loot path. Those trees gives less than the palace does, but more than the taller trees do. So they'll set you up real good for building to win some fights. So far we've talked about how containers can give you a ton of weapons and shields that aren't going to be used up by other players because you can just kill them before they even use it. Then there's the fact that you can get 3 to 500 pieces of wood in under 30 seconds with pallets, or go for 999 of them south of here by hitting trees if you want to. I can literally just end it right here without giving you the 4th reason, and it would still be hands down the best landing location in the entire map for easy wins. And yet there's still another big reason why this is the best place to land. The final reason is that the storm will never be an issue when you land at containers. To win a game of Fortnite, you need weapons, shields, healing, materials, and last but not least, good positioning. For the entire day that I landed here, I never once touched the storm. I had a restraining order on that thirsty thing, always trying to blow me away. I put this reason last because it doesn't make much sense by itself. Like, if there's an issue with the storm, then just land in Salty, Tilted, Dusty, or Loot Lake. But like I said, you won't get all the weapons and shields all to yourself there because those places are so popular since they're in the middle of the map. But here's the thing, right? It's okay if you didn't land in the middle of the map. Most of the time, the first circle is gonna look something like this. So you only have to run a minute or so to get there from containers. The worst that could happen for the container start is if the circle moves to the left a bit more, but you still have plenty of time to get to the safe zone and find good positioning after looting up to 11 chests. I've had so many cases where I landed Moisty Mire and the circle keeps moving to the northwest and ends up at like Pleasant Park, so the whole game I'm just running there while people are building a mansion out of metal up in the mountains starting 3 minutes before I even get there. I tried landing at Haunted Hills a couple of times because it has a lot of chests, but same thing happens where the circle moves to Moisty Mire, and then there's the annoying Loot Lake slowing you down too. That doesn't happen when you land in containers. You get to be one of those guys that are fully geared with tons of materials, sitting on top of a mansion in the mountain in the middle of the safe zone. It just makes getting the win so much easier. And it's way more fun fighting people when you have good positioning versus running to the safe zone constantly and struggling to hit people up in their mountain bases. That's pretty much it. If all of that doesn't convince you that containers is the best place to land to get easy wins, then maybe this montage of me getting 5 wins in one day will convince you. And if you want to see the definition of an easy Fortnite win, then make sure you watch the last game of the montage. You won't believe how ridiculously easy it was. As you guys can see, I don't really make montages. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, try out this loot path and see if you win more. Drop a like and subscribe for more Fortnite content. Thanks for watching and good luck getting wins.